Hello, my friends. Charlotte here. I wanted to go through downward dog, the alignment of downward dog, especially if you're new to it and just wondering, curious, how do I get into this pose? What do I do with my hands, my feet? Yeah, there is, a lot to it, but it all goes together and feels amazing. It's a great posture to do every single day. Obviously done in a lot of yoga classes all the time. And even if you've been doing it for a while, there might be little tweaks you can make that I'll show you that might really help. One of them, the main one that we talk about a lot in classes, are your shoulders. As a teacher, we see a lot of kind of internal rotation of the shoulders. And what we're really looking for is that external rotation of the shoulders, which obviously creates more space. It'll feel a lot better for your neck. And we kind of do this all day anyway, not that much. Some of us might do, but we really want to think about, broadening across chest and upper back. And so first of all, when you're going into the posture, I'll just show you what it looks like too first, just so you can get your bearings. Go ahead and get on the floor, and we'll all do this together. But you're looking for an upside down V shape with your body, or maybe an A-frame, if that sounds a little more appropriate. So finding the upside down V shape, and then the first thing you can kind of check to see is where your hands and feet should be. The best way to see this or to feel it is come into a plank pose with shoulders right over your wrists. We're not here long. And then take it back into downward facing dog. Hips high, my feet come in just a little because I have long legs. Inhale forward into your plank. Exhale back, downward dog. And notice hands and feet do not move much at all. Maybe feet come in half an inch, but. So that's the first step. So then you know where your hands and feet should be. Next is your hands. Hands are obviously a big foundation in downward dog. So to help open up the shoulders, you'll look at your index fingers. Make sure they're pointing straight forward and that they're parallel to the outer edges of your mat. So what that does is if you turn your fingers out a little, it's going to roll your shoulders out. If you did it just normal or even in, that's going to turn the shoulders in, which won't feel good. Go ahead and do that. Do that now. And then open them. So much better. So, hands, very important. I want to press into your finger pads and the knuckle part of your fingers. Less weight is here. It's on the mat, but we don't want a lot of weight right there in the wrist. So if you're feeling any pain there or just tweakiness, that might be why. So really focus on the finger pads pressing down, and your wrist will definitely strengthen over time the more you do this posture. So that will be your first, and then hands are shoulder width apart. So a great way to find that external rotation, call it bulldog, beach ball. Bulldog, beach ball. Think of a bulldog, how they have their elbows out to the sides. They're so adorable. We're gonna do that with our elbows, and then hug the elbows towards each other like we're squeezing a beach ball, then straighten the arms. And that's going to create a lot of opening in your upper back. It's also going to strengthen your serratus anterior muscle, this boxer's muscle. It's a great muscle in your plank pose and just to prepare you for future arm balances. So it's a good thing, and you might feel it working, shaking, but that's good. That means it's getting stronger. And I'm going to show you just so you can visually see this happening, and then we'll do it together. So my index fingers are forward. I'm going to lift into my downward dog. So go ahead and notice my upper back. Notice the shoulders, the internal rotation. Ugh. So we see this a lot, which is fine, definitely. For beginners, I know I didn't know when I first started yoga, so no big deal. But we'll see this, so I encourage my students, bend your elbows out to the sides, bulldog. And then watch as I hug the elbows towards each other. Keep the elbows bent, keep them bent, keep them bent. Notice how broad my shoulder blades
Create space for my neck. Then I straighten the arms. Lift my hips high. Keep hugging elbows in. And then my ears are going to be by my biceps. And I'm breathing. Really pressing the floor away.
So let's give it a try. Talk you through it. So come down, notice index fingers forward, hands are shoulder width apart. And then tuck the toes under, and then lift your hips up and back. Just kind of listen to the sound of my voice. And if you have to go into plank first, just kind of see where your hands and feet should be. Good, now breathing, bend your elbows out to the sides. Bend, bend, bend. Keep them bent. Hug your elbows towards each other. So look at the eyes of your elbows. They should be almost pointing forward. Not all the way, but almost. Then straighten your arms and really think of that broadening through your upper back until your ears are right by your biceps. And you kind of bring your head side to side, feel that. And then rest when you need to. Did you feel that? Oh, feels so good. So if you've been doing downward dog for a long time and you do this and you're like, oh, this feels like work now, it probably will. That means you might not have been using this muscle as much, which is fine, but hopefully your neck is a lot happier, or it will be. Your shoulders will also be safer. So now that we've got the hands and arms, we'll move into the hips and the legs. If you have tight hamstrings, bend your knees. For the love of God. It does not matter if you have straight legs or if your heels touch the ground. Let it go. I've been doing yoga for over 6 years. My heels still don't touch the floor, but who cares? I still get a great stretch. It's not really the goal. So again, we're trying to find this equal strength to stretch. My mentor, Ali, says that a lot. Equal strength to stretch. Finding that balance. So, for the legs, I'm going to start index fingers forward. No matter how many times I do this, always refining the posture, just noticing those little things that can make a big difference. Tuck the toes, as we can in life as well. And then hips back towards your heels. Lift your knees an inch off the earth. Keep them bent. Press your hips up and back, up and back, up and back. Knees bent, no rush. And then my feet are about hip distance, maybe about sitting bone distance-ish. Toes are forward. Find my bulldog beach ball. Breathing. And really think about sticking, I'm gonna bend my knees again and stick the booty up. Think about almost spreading your sitting bones. I know that sounds weird, but it'll create space for your low back. So spread your sitting bones. And then if your hamstrings are already feeling this, stay right here. If you need more, then maybe start to press your heels towards the mat a little or a lot. And then gently come down and rest. Roll the shoulders a little bit. So again, keeping the knees bent to start. And then if you need more sensation, you can start to maybe straighten the legs a little bit, pressing your heels towards or on the earth. If they touch the mat, that's great. You know your body better than I do. So the main thing I encourage you to do though is not forcing anything to happen or what you think it should look like really. So, you know, feel it out. If you get a stretch with knees bent, awesome. So let's do the whole thing. One more time. Let's find the plank pose first. Shoulders over wrist, strong through your core. Index fingers forward, hands shoulder width. I'm gonna start to lift the hips up and back. I'm gonna walk my feet in just a hair. Maybe kind of bend my knees a little bit. You can also pedal the feet here, which feels good. One heel down at a time. Good. And then finding, you can go through your checklist. Think of hugging elbows towards each other. Hug that beach ball. Spread your shoulder blades apart. Almost think of deep armpits here too. Think of your armpits
being hollow and going up towards the sky. It'll also take some pressure off your shoulders. And then lengthen your side bodies, lift your hips high. And then maybe with a big bend or soft bend in your knees, heels press towards the mat. And then I'll take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And then slowly start to lower down. Whew. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, please let me know, or comments. Hopefully feel good. Rest when you need to, of course. And I'll have other videos you can check out, how to do Cobra, Up Dog, Chaturanga, and more to come. So check them out. Thank y'all so much. Subscribe.